We have Vasco and we have Danielle, and they want to ask you a few questions.
What was your inspiration for the title, The Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Well,
in Brazil and here in Portugal, it's called Diário de Banana. Which
how do you deal with that?
I think it's fun. It's I can see it. I can see why they named him that. In the United States, it's called Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which means a kid who's not very strong. And I wanted to write about a kid who didn't seem like a hero. I think there are a lot of heroes in kids' literature, and I wanted to write about somebody who was sort of imperfect, like I was as a kid.
So you learned the word banana in Portuguese, not only the fruit, but something else.
Yeah, I did. I learned that it's a little bit different. It's not a word that we would use in that way in the United States. So I'm learning a lot from my international publications.
So if Greg was a fruit, not in Portugal, so not a banana, what fruit could he be?
Oh, gosh, maybe a pickle or is that a fruit? Is that a vegetable? I'm not even sure. Is a potato a vegetable or a fruit?
Kind of. Vasco, another question?
How did you know that write children's book has good idea?
I didn't know until my publisher told me, because I actually wrote this book for grown-ups. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid was meant to be for adults, and so my publisher told me I had accidentally written a children's book. So,
well, what an accident!
Yeah,
a good one.
That's how I found out.
Was there someone in your family who was a writer?
Okay.
That's a good question. Everybody in my family is a writer of something. But my mother was an early childhood educator, so she helped teach young children, and she read them lots of picture books. And so I grew up with a house full of books, which I'm very, very lucky for. Great question.
Were you inspired to write the book?
Where I'm inspired to write the book is actually a strange place. I do most of my writing at a cemetery. So I drive my car to a graveyard, and I keep it there all day, and I write because nobody bothers me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
So it's a nice place to work, yeah.
Yes?
Yep.
Wow.
Why the Raleigh is so silly?
Rowley is Greg's best friend. He's much more simple-minded than Greg. He's not as sophisticated, and he is also. But what I really like about him is that he's a pure kid. He's a kid who likes being a kid. He doesn't really want to grow up, and so I thought it was really funny to write a story from the perspective of a really simple-minded kid.
In what did you inspire yourself to create Greg?
I think my own experience as a kid. I was kind of an average kid, but I was a little bit complicated. I wasn't always good and I wasn't always bad. So I think that Greg is a kind of a complete character, and I like writing for him.
How old is Greg right now?
I don't actually know how old Greg is. How old is he? I don't know. He's somewhere between 11 and 13, but I don't want to know how old Greg is.